All right, we are here. We have now just started officially the Purpose Plays. I am Angela, and this is my co-host. This is Dawn. She's joining me for today, and you will see that we have a panel. And I'm going to let everyone take a moment to introduce themselves. If you are new to Purpose Plays, guess what? It is a combination. It's an infusion of Wisdom Lounge. If you loved our Wisdom Lounge podcast, it is an infusion of that, as well as if you loved our Coffee and Conversation podcast. So we are fusing all this together to streamline it so you can find us all in one place because we are grounded in wisdom. We are grounded in wisdom, and we are centered in purpose. And this is where you're going to find the vibe right here at Purpose Place. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to be quiet for just a moment. Well, before I do that, let me let you know that we're here. Donna's a coach. I'm a coach. I'm a certified recovery coach. I'm also a current psychology student and soon to be graduate. Whoop whoop. Taking my last classes this semester. Come on, gotta rock with it, baby. Oh, never mind. Yeah, and I'm super excited about that. And just what God is about to do moving forward. So, Dawn, let you take it over from here. Just
Hey everybody, good seeing everybody.
can y'all hear?
Can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so excited to be here with you. We are launching all together, and you guys are the first seed bearers for us. But purpose is very important to us. So let me give you a little bit of my background. I got 20 plus years in HR through operating with 3PL companies, pastor, mother, grandmother. So we got a lot of wisdom. And so I'm so excited for us to collaborate together because when we have more, we can do more. And so I'm excited about that. And purpose has always been very important to me and leaving a good, healthy legacy.
Awesome. Love it. All right, we're going to throw it on over there to Kira Deja Jones. My bad, I gave you a whole government name. My bad.
Wow, Mom. Hi, I'm Kira. I'm 30 years old in the Army, and yeah, I'm here because I'm here to give relationship advice. Okay, next.
Not so much advice. You're going to tell your story.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Rachel, your turn.
Hey, everybody. I'm Rachel. I'm 35. I'm Philly native. Now I'm in Dallas working in research, and I'm just here to give my experience. Like Angela said, okay, I'm not giving, I don't know, I'm not veering into advice, but I'm here to share, what I've gleaned from my own story. So excited to be here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Glad to have you, Rachel. Well, I called him, my initial giving of name was Javonity Wheatley. However, he has reduced it to G. So, G, can you share with us? Let me unmute you. I forgot I'm handling of your mute button. My bad. Share with us, please, if you can introduce yourself.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Again, that lady had named me Giovanni Weekly. I'm here to give you the adjustment um, and the laughs. Sometimes we need laughter going through our pain, etc., etc. Back to you, news anchor Angela Weekly.
Reporting for Purpose Place.
And let me mute G right now. Let me mute G right now. Okay. So this podcast, we had a few more people, but we had some trouble logging in. It is, as you can see, multi generational. You have Dawn and I. We're in one category, and we're single. You have Kira, and you have Giovanni and Rachel. They're in another age bracket, and they're single. We had a couple other guys that we were trying to get on, but scheduling wise, it didn't work out. But we will come back and revisit this again with a more full panel. With everyone being in different locations, it was just kind of hard to navigate everything. But we will, and I definitely wanted to get it out for our love month, February. So we are rocking with the ones that can rock with us today because they still have some great wisdom, some great experiences that they could share. And as you can see, we love to have fun. So I've asked them as we get on and we just start chopping it up, that you be your authentic self. You don't have to come like I come. You don't have to say it the way I say it. You don't have to do it the way I do it. But just be your authentic self as we kind of go through these questions and just have a conversation. So it's no right or wrong. It's again going back to your experience, right? So here we are as we get ready to talk about purpose place, and we were and everyone here from Dawn to Rachel to G to Kira, we all have talked about from time to time relationships. We've talked about dating. There were times where some of you guys were actively dating, and then you went back to non-active dating status. I haven't got out of the non-active dating status yet. I keep saying I will, but I haven't. Excuse me. And so now we're going to kind of talk about those things, even talk about some of the reasons why I have not actively dated. Maybe some things I need to kind of work on there. So again, as we get ready, our first segment of questions that I want to kind of get into with everyone, because I also want to bring it in regarding Black History Month. And so with that being said, I looked at some things that can kind of bring us in there where we can kind of talk about it collectively. And one of them is Black love and cultural reflections. So we're going to look at how has Black history shaped how we love, protect, and show up in relationships today. Like if you look at your Black history, not just Martin Luther King had a dream and then not that, because every time we think about Black history, we think of the I have a dream on a mountaintop and all, but history is it could be your personal history with your family. How has that Black history shaped how you love, how you protect, how you show up in relationships? It could be your relationship. I know many of us, we've had Black pastors who have been a true example, or maybe not, in our community, in our lives. And that may have been the first time you've seen a relationship together, because typically the pastoral relationship is going to be the husband and the wife, traditionally. Not all the time, but that might be the first time that you see that example of Black love. So again, how has Black history shaped how we love, protect, and show up in relationships? Anyone want to jump in?
So I'll jump in first. So my grandparents really shaped me. Me and my sister were the first grandkids. And so they married forever. And coincidentally, he's a pastor. And so they just, how he cared for my grandmother at every stage of her life was like, wow. Because, we all think about the good times when we could go here, but at those stages of life, he was just so nurturing. He would help her. I didn't learn until I was a teenager that she didn't know how to read, because he would take the time every Sunday. They would have like a business meeting, and he would explain everything to her. That just blew my mind, that she didn't know how to read, and he taught her how to read and included her, even though he knew her lack of education, he included her in the meetings. So that was powerful for me. Obviously, I was like, okay, I definitely want someone like that, for sure, that has those traits, because he was so patient, so kind. And she was feisty now. She was the first lady, but she would tell some words to you without apologies. So, but yeah, so for me, that shaped my first experience of actually living and seeing my parents. I don't even really remember when my parents got divorced, which I think that's a blessing, because I don't know what their trauma was. All I've ever known is they've never really been together. Mm-hmm. They can talk and everything, but they've never really been together, married, that I knew of. So that kind of shaped some things too on both sides when they went out there, because they went heyday when they went. I was old enough then to know what that was. but they always cared for uh, their loved ones, and they always included me and my sister in the pertinent conversations that needed to be had, and they did it in a graceful way.
I like that. That's a good example. Like you said, your grandfather, your grandparents were your first teacher, and with that, whether it is a good or bad lesson, there was still a lesson that was learned. Like her example was good, but maybe the Black history that we have may not have always been something where everybody like Pastor Dawn, her grandfather sat down every Sunday and taught her grandmother like the finances of the house, because she couldn't read those numbers, she couldn't understand those numbers, but through conversation she knew what was going on in that house, which is a blessing, which is healthy love, because there are times when men can keep you out of the loop. They know you don't know these things and you don't know what's going on, and something happened to you, then guess what? You don't know what a bank account is, you don't know anything. But because he understood what she lacked, he made up for. He made sure she wanted for nothing. And I'll say for me, and I'm sure I saw it before, uh, but it was not magnified until I got in church. When I got in church, my first example, I guess, was my pastor, and to see him and his wife. And at the time, I didn't know that they were newly married, but nevertheless, I saw them and their relationship. Now, I didn't epitomize their relationship so much, because there were some things that I don't know if I like that, but I still saw that they honored each other. Like I learned that because in my family, not so much. Like we as the women, like we gonna pop off. We like, but I learned through them, and it's especially watching not just but that one pastor, but then seeing other women who were in that position, how they honored their husbands. So I learned through their example, through that type of Black love, and through that, and I'll say Black love because these were Black pastors. I wasn't around white pastors, so I can't say whether or not the white pastors do it or not. But like I say, I honor Black history. For me to see women to like humble themselves, and humble is not a good word, but they covered their husbands. Even I don't know if they was mad or if they went and told their husband something later on, but in public they you just saw their demeanor. And so I learned that even when I got married, and I say I don't know if they was mad or not, because I know there were some times I was absolutely mad at my husband for things that he did, but publicly I learned how to honor, shut my mouth. But baby, when we got in that house, but I wouldn't have known that. I would have been just like anybody else that I know. Like, I'm about to bust these car windows and slash these tires right now because you done made me mad in public. But, but I learned that through watching that type of Black love, that type of honor, that type of Black excellence. So I always say New Orleans East was truly one of my blessings, because God surrounded me with Black excellence, whether it was in church, whether it was other professionals. And I didn't just see it in church. I saw other powerful women, and I just saw how they moved and how they moved differently. I was around doctors, lawyers, judges. These are people that I worked for as well. So watching how they move taught me a lot that I don't think I would have learned from books. I just watched their example. And that's one of the honors that I have for Black love. Anyone else want to jump in there?
I'll say, um, when you first posed this question about, what has Black history taught, I did go back to like not Martin Luther King, but Black history in America
Yeah,
type of
yeah.
thing. But I think it's good to look at it from the perspective that you're saying too, like what personal examples have I had? But I think that both sides affect me in terms of like dating and thinking about the kind of wife I want to be, because the Black history in America And not to get all, political or anything like that, but just the sheer history of the attack on Black people and especially Black men in this country, I
Yeah.
think shaped a lot of how Black men in this country show up. And I
Hmm.
think that they were maybe like so burdened and downtrodden that, like, I don't know, maybe it was too much to handle. And a lot of people didn't have a husband or a father present in the home. And
Yeah.
so that in and of itself is like a whole thing that I feel like my generation is now like coming back around to try to, like, rectify that stuff and heal that stuff and show up better.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
that still means, like, in the dating pool, you kind of have to sift through, okay, are you a Black man that has done the work,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Like, if you didn't have an example or whatever, like, have you done the work to now show up better and let's do it a better way than that those that came before us? And then on the opposite side, I haven't seen a healthy example of marriage. Like, my mom is a great example of a woman, but I haven't seen her in the house with my dad
Yeah.
and, like, like, just knowing how to serve a husband.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know what I'm saying? It's just like I saw her hold it down on her own, but I haven't seen an example of her honoring a husband and what
Yeah.
that kind of looks like. So now it's kind of up to me, the same way I would be looking at a man to say, okay, have you done the work? Now it's up to me to kind of do the work to understand, like, okay, you can be independent while it's necessary, but
Hmm.
then when you come into wanting to be in a relationship, okay, now we have to do some work on submission and learning how to
Yeah.
honor, like you said. And that's a whole thing in and of itself too. It's like, because the history is we had to be strong
Yeah.
and women had to carry a lot of things that we weren't meant to carry on our own.
Hmm.
And so now when you come into a situation where you have a partner, it's kind of like, okay, let's roll all that stuff back and unlearn that stuff because it's not going to work in this context. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like that. Like you said, same with my children. Both of them are here. They have not, well, yeah, with my husband, but it was later in life. Not so much my son because he actually stayed the shortest amount of time of my marriage because he was adulting out, so he moved out of the house. And Kira had more time to see how I served, how I honor my husband, and how I honored the marriage. She had an example, but my heart was to make that a lifelong example, not a 12-year stint. So that breaks my heart that she didn't get to see and experience, because I really thought that was going to be the curse that God was going to allow me to break, is divorce in our family. But it didn't happen the way that I thought it was going to happen. And yeah, I definitely love that perspective. Like you said, you've seen a great example of your mom as a woman, but you haven't seen that how it should be as a wife. And
Mm-hmm.
I would say the same for my children. Kira seen for a short amount of time, G not so much. And I wish that could have been our story too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Pause. Pause. No, I haven't seen with you and your husband, correct. But I have the example because of who you hung around. So growing up, my male figures were your friends, the
Yeah.
people you work for. They took me in and showed me, like, hey G, as a man, as a young age, when you get older, you'll understand. And then hanging around the women, just being a young man, y'all need this, and listening to y'all conversation, and understand, girl, all you had to do was do this, and everything would have been all right, girl. And by you being the single woman, you're just soaking it up and saying, okay, it works for them, I could take this and do that. But those were my examples. All four of my mentors are still married to the same woman, never cheated. So those are my example, and yes.
Well, thank you, God. Thank you, God, because I did pick them. God told me who they were, and I asked them, and they was like, yes. Because I went to them, and I was like, I know, I just want him to be free to ask any questions. Like me and you had a good relationship and talking. However, I also was wise enough to know there are some things your children just not going to come to you with. And as a parent, I shouldn't want them to come to me about everything. Like I'm like, I'm here for you, but I also want you to be free to have conversations where you could talk about stuff that you don't really talk about with your mama. I'm here. I mean, I can go there with you, but I prefer not to. So God gave me four people that to mentor him, and well, thank you, son. That blesses me. That blesses me. Yeah.
Pause. I thought I was the only one. Thank you, Rachel. I feel good now because I had asked Siri to Google Tina Turner and Harry Tubman Love because I didn't know what Black History she was talking about.
What the world?
Your mama, you know that.
Not Tina Turner. Oh Lord,
Tina
I don't
Turner.
know. I don't know if we want to use
That's
Sister
not a good
Tina. I
example.
don't know.
Tina is not a good example.
That was it. Oh my God. That was ridiculous. Well, as we kind of move forward into our next segment, we're talking about, and thank you guys, y'all. I mean, really great input. I really enjoyed that because, like I said, it's like um, we're we're we're. This is the one time in life that all the generations are here on this planet together. It's a weird time in life because normally by the time your grandparents are married, by the time you meet your grandparents, they're married, blah blah blah. Now you hanging with your mom and your grandma, and we all talking about boyfriends. That's weird.
Right, boyfriend.
We all told to
Help
get
us,
there for a
Lord.
day. That was not happening back in the day.
Yeah.
Grandpa and grandma was still married. Grandma was not 60 years old, 70 years old, telling me she got a boyfriend. It was not
Not my
happening.
grandma.
Huh?
My grandma says the only boyfriend she had was Jesus.
Jesus.
Jesuf.
Jesus. So, 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 Bear, go sit down. I'm sorry, y'all. That's the big dog. He, but he, so yeah, it's like it's a weird time, and I'm loving the fact that we're here able to have a conversation, and so now we kind of cross over into that cross generational dating, and so and if y'all have any input on this, please jump right in. But Dawn, I'm gonna ask you. Uh, Let me see. It's two of them I want to ask. How do you younger dater misunderstand about what? Okay, this could be one where it's incorporated with everybody. What do older daters misunderstand about modern dating cultures? What do we misunderstand?
I think what they misunderstand the differences of the generations, and the other key part I think they misunderstand is how to communicate it well so that they can ask the right questions. There's there's a there's like a subconscious line they have, and they kind of still want to put you in that same peg of when you was young. I want to make you grow, let you make your decisions. It could be numerous of them, but those are the ones that kind of come to my mind because sometimes the parents or the grandparents get stuck in what you were. And so allowing you the freedom to develop and grow with guardrails on the side if you need them. That's what I got.
Okay.
I can answer this one too.
Okay, go ahead. You go ahead
And
because I got a
this is
couple of them. I got a couple of them I want to address. Go ahead. Go ahead.
this is a prime example of you. You'll be like, especially with me and G, and especially with me when it comes to dating. You'll be like, okay, so me and the person could be dating for like a month or 2 months. Okay, so what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Or we just talk like we could in this
That's the
generation.
one I was gonna go to
Yeah,
too.
we
Go
have a
ahead.
talking stage, a dating stage, the relationship stage, and the marriage. And so you'll be like, "Oh, so are y'all dating now?" And I'm like, "No, we just still talking. We just still getting to know each other." Oh, well, when y'all gonna start dating? I don't know. And you be like, "Okay." Then 4 months later, you be like, "Oh, what happened to such and such?" Girl, I don't know. But it'd be like you're quick. You're like you want me to. It's like y'all back in y'all day. Y'all jumped into dating, like y'all courtship, which that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to court the person.
Mm-hmm.
But in this generation, we have all these stages because nowadays, not saying that everybody's doing it, but a lot of people, they get on social media, they see people who have this, they see people who have that, so they think that, okay, well, yeah, I like this person, but this person is doing this thing, so I want to go over here, so I'm gonna just talk to this person while I talk to this person too, because they think like the grass is greener on the other side, and it's not. So that's one of the big differences from y'all generation to ours, is that we go through stages because we either we're scared that we don't know if this is the person we really want to be with, or we have some type of trauma that's holding us, like, yes, I want to be with this person, but what if this and this happen? You don't know what's going to happen until you actually are committed to that person. Or we have a thing where, like, they say, okay, we're dating exclusively. Dating exclusively just mean y'all boyfriend and girlfriend, y'all still in a relationship, because y'all are the only two people who are dating. So they try to like put a title on it without putting a title on it. But y'all back in the day, y'all put a title on it. Y'all was like, this is my girlfriend.
Okay, pause right there. Yes, we go. You ain't gonna put a title on it without putting a title on it. You're gonna make it
Yeah.
clear. I need clarity. I need understanding, because my thing is I need you not to use a word salad. And so that's what Kira's right. Me and her be going back and forth. I need to know, and I'm not saying I want to know so that you forcing him into a relationship. I need to know so I know that he's not wasting your time. Because if we're not exclusive, buddy, I don't owe you no respect. I don't owe you anything. I don't need to tell you when I'm going out with somebody, because we're not exclusive. You're not my boyfriend, and I need Kira to not stop dating. I need you to keep on dating and keep on dating and go out with this date and that date and this date, because guess what? That is not your boyfriend. He has not said anything. And so I need him to know how clear this is.
Because one monkey
That's
don't
all I'm
stop no show, huh?
saying. You better say it.
Okay, hold up. You know what? I'm gonna come in and be the middleman, because I feel where both of y'all are coming from. I understand. See, this is what's happening. Okay, you want Kira to date multiple, right? Because we ain't locking nothing down. If we just getting to know each other, it's nothing serious. We just
Don't be
friends,
holding
and
up
we
my
just want to
time.
see. Yeah, and then okay, but Kira, I understand what you're saying. Yes, there are some stages, and I think that there should be some stages, because in our defense, this generation, speaking of examples, right, in Black history,
Yes.
we saw a lot of people stay in a lot of marriages that they weren't happy in.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's because they got right together and they just courted straight out of high
Yeah.
school, bam, married. That's it. They ain't talked about what they like to do, their interests. They ain't talked about what they want to do as far as career, etc., etc. So I think, to our point, like, our generation, we on the right track with that. We need to know a little bit more about this person before we, you know what I'm saying? But then, to your point, Angela, now if you dating to marry, just be clear
Mm-hmm.
from
That's it.
the beginning.
That's it.
Okay, I'm looking for a wife. I'm dating to marry. Right now, I just would like to get to know you and see
That's
how
it.
things progress. So
Yeah.
we still have the stages, but he's already communicated and been clear,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'm dating to marry, or I'm not dating to marry.
And that to that point, that's all I'm saying is I don't like that stage of situationship
Mm.
Yeah.
um or a title without a title. No, 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 no. No, now the lines are getting blurred. It's getting a little murky.
Yeah.
No, it's okay to clarify, and we both agree with the clarification.
Yeah.
So that means, like, no, by no means rush into anything, because just because I go out on a date with you, I do not see my future with you. Just because we go out on 6-7 dates in 3 months, I am not picturing you in my house and we walking down the forever road. I don't, not that. Like, because I like my peace. So,
Oh.
but what I am saying is, I've talked to so many women where they are so clouded in the head
Mm-hmm.
because of all of the non-clarity of there's no clarity. These words that have been thrown out, and a woman feel like, I don't want to pressure him. Girl, pressure him for your peace. So
Mm-hmm.
because the point is not pressure him to say I want you, but pressure him to him or her to get some meaning to you wasting my time. or not wasting my time, because he may not be wasting your time, but he may not know how to express what he's saying. However, I just like clarity. If we are dating and we're not exclusive, that's absolutely fine, long as both of us understand what that means. We're dating. I don't owe you a phone call. I don't even owe you to answer your phone calls every time you call. You're not my boyfriend. I don't need to answer the call every time you call. If I pick up the phone 2 months from now, hey, I'm gonna pick up the phone and I'm gonna talk to you like nothing ever happened. Hey, boo, what's happening? Because I don't have to answer your phone call. You're not
Now, I will say, if I'm dating, I don't care what stage you're in. If a man don't call me for 2 months, just don't call me again. Just
Yeah.
because we're
If
not
I
gonna
don't
have
hear from
2 months.
you.
Every day.
But I'm saying if you're not
2 months, that's a long time.
That's what I'm saying, G.
but
Like,
that's just exaggeration. But what I'm saying is,
Jesus Christ.
I
And
don't have to answer your phone call like, oh, that's him. No, I don't. You're not my boyfriend. Now, if we start to work toward whatever that next stage is that y'all title it to be, where it's not so much as the exclusive, but we're saying, okay, we're working towards something. Okay, then now you get a little bit more like, okay, now I'm gonna answer your calls. You got me. But that first stage, yeah, I'm probably not gonna answer your call. I'm probably watching a marathon. I'm probably watching.
Listen, this just happened to me a couple of months ago. A guy who he inboxed me from Instagram saying he liked my photos. Can we connect and everything? Blah blah blah. First I said, I don't know, but then I did, and so we connected, and he told me he was clear that he wanted to get married. All of this, blah blah blah, and he's dating to get married. Is that fine for you? Yes. So he starts talking to me, and I'm busier than he is in the natural day. And so he said, well, do you like to text or do you like to talk? I said, well, you're going to have to talk because most of the day I'm running. So long story short, he kept putting on more pressure. And as he kept putting on the more pressure, he was not respecting my boundaries. He's a texter, I'm a caller, and he said he would respect my boundaries, but he didn't. He would call me at times where he knew I was doing stuff. And so I finally just had to say, this is not working. You're not respecting my boundaries. I'm respecting what your boundaries are, but you're not respecting mine. So this will be the end of our conversations. Thank you. But that gives you a chance as well to see, will they really respect what you want? Because he notoriously didn't.
Yeah. When you said you were a talker and he's a texter, and it was like, come see, come saw.
Right. Right. And then he just kept overusing it. I'm like, golly. Yeah. Then he starts saying weird stuff. So.
And one other point before we move on to our next one, that'll be our last section. I know we talked briefly about this, and you guys kind of rolled your eyes at me and thought I was crazy. But nevertheless, the other thing as a older dater, I am open to a person that has a job that keeps them on the road often. I'm very open to that. I think I would only want to date that type of person, whether it's a trucker, a traveling preacher. I mean, you can have such an itinerant. I don't care. And I'm not opposed to living separately. I'm really not opposed to that. But I just think it'll be easier for me to explain to people if you're traveling rather than me to tell people.
But that's something you want.
So that's why I put in the job references, the types of job, because it'll be easier to explain to people why we live separately rather than to say, no, he lives in Houston, but we stay in another.
But they have that. I've seen that. It was this woman, her and her husband, they live right next door to each other. They're not separated. They're not divorced. They just stay in separate houses. She was like, we've been married for a long time. And he needed his space. I needed my space. But they still see each other every single day.
Yeah. So I'm not opposed to that. I know it's weird, but I do want to be married and not just for the physical hookups, not just to go, to do what I do.
They can't handle that.
Make it clear because I don't know.
Hey, how long is this? How long is this? I want to get off.
I knew they was gonna say something. not just for those moments.
But
But
the respond to you, it's a maturity for that. Not everyone is able into that. Because I am a trucker, and I know, Samantha. Give me a second. But um, I'm a trucker, and we all know the saying. You know, he a truck driver. He got all of, and that's not the case.
That's what they say about the
So
army
yeah,
too.
it's all about the maturity and where y'all at
mhm.
head level. But yes, I'm sorry, y'all.
And
I'm
you
Yeah,
have
done.
to do what works
I
for
think,
you in your relationship.
yeah, because I dated a trucker, and I was like, I don't know about this being going to like. I don't think I'm built for that. I feel like, first of all, I've just been single long enough. For me personally, I'm not gonna get married and then be in a separate house. No, I
Yeah,
don't like it. I don't like.
yeah,
I don't know. I don't think I'm cut out for that.
yeah.
I don't even think I'm cut out. Well, I wouldn't knock somebody who has a profession that they travel a lot, because I
Hmm.
don't know. I feel like maybe my life might end up like that at some point in time,
Yeah, yeah,
but it definitely wouldn't be my preference. Not saying completely no to traveling jobs. It wouldn't be my preference, but it's a big no, heavy on the no for the separate houses with me. I don't want to do that.
Agree no, two
Yeah.
houses. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
And for me, being in the military, if I do end up with another military personnel or whatever, well, one, he has to be higher ranking than me, of course, because when he is, I'm getting out. And he can go like we're gonna be like it's gonna be times where we are gonna be separated from each other. He's gonna be on deployment. I may be on deployment. So we're gonna have that time where we're like, okay, I've seen you every day, but now I'm not seeing you every day because now you're in a different country or something like that, or I'm gone. So when we come back, we're like, oh, I miss you so much. Like, hi, hello. And then
Mhm.
however long he's in the military, because y'all know I only got one more contract in me. However long he's in the military, like we'll still have that foundation. But yeah, no. He could get a room, like he could have his own room in a house, but we can't be in separate houses. But that's why you have a man cave. You gonna go there and that's it.
Mhm.
Cause
hmm
or y'all could do like them old people do, get them separate beds in the same
hmm
room.
All right. It's not
I
even
don't
about.
know who raised y'all. I don't know who raised y'all because I didn't. I didn't. I'm different from I.
But
Me
y'all have to
growing up.
understand.
Our
I've
tradition was
I've
not
been
having that.
married. This is the older.
This is point
This
two.
is this is the older side of me in my next chapter of relationship. Now, and I can't say that because even before I married my now ex husband, when I married him, that was one of the stipulations that he broke. One of the stipulations was he said that he traveled with his job and and that he was going to be on the road a lot because that was one of the things that I really wanted. Like I like you, I want to be with you, but the main thing that I thought was going to happen was he was going to be traveling a lot. And next thing you know,
He was
he
home
all
every day.
he home every day. I got rope a dope because he was he that's what he told me. He was a contractor, general contractor. He used to go all over. He's because that's how he ended up moving. Excuse me. He ended up moving to. Sorry. He ended up moving to New Orleans from another state, and that's what he did. He went from different places, going around after disaster, helping to rebuild homes. So I was like, okay, like that was one of the boxes that checked because I knew that there would be seasons and times that he would leave. He stopped leaving. We got married. There was no. I'm ready. I'm like, it's a storm in Florida. They done had 4 5.
She over here giving them the job. They waiting for you.
That
Well,
is so interesting. What? Okay, so have you traced like where did this desire come from? Like, why do you want to be married but like, why is this a stipulation? This is so interesting to me. Like,
I don't
I
know.
don't hear
I've
people say
always,
this. Like,
I've always been like that in relationships. I am pretty good with you. Yeah, I've always been like that, and I don't know why, but
She's not a
it
clingy
works.
person.
And
It even like when we sometimes when we would hug her, especially when I would hug her when I was younger, she'd be like, I'm
I
like,
would withdraw from you. I used to hug you. No, when y'all fall and stuff, I used to be like, shake it off.
yeah,
I
literally.
apologize, man. I apologize. It probably came from me because he was hug me, hug. I'm like, I ain't got time for all that. No,
But now
I'm not.
I'm like, if somebody, especially if it's somebody that I'm dating, I mean not dating, but we're like just talking and they like want to give me a hug, I just be like,
yeah.
okay.
Sometimes
You,
I feel that though, Kara, because sometimes when you just getting to know someone, it's like,
Too much.
I don't know about you yet. I don't know if I
yeah,
feel safe yet. I'm not with the hugs just yet.
Yeah,
yeah,
like
But
how about a handshake or a little fist pump and we good. And they be like,
fist
no, I
bump is
just want to.
yeah.
crazy.
Y'all get on my system. I charge $34.99. Literally,
Uh-huh.
I charge 30 for a hug. I'm not the person. I don't like touching. I don't. I'm not that.
Wow.
Like you said, I don't know where you've been at. I don't know where you come from. 34.99. You got the money or not?
But shut up. You see, I don't know what kind of kids I raised, Rachel. I don't know. I don't know. But as we get ready to wrap up, because this really has, and I love the fact how we just talk and gel and kind of deal with certain things. But as we get ready to wrap up, we're gonna talk about. I'm sorry, I'm getting over a really bad virus, so
You
it's
sound much
it.
better than you did a couple of days ago.
Oh, I
But you
know,
was
right?
dying back then.
Oh Lord, feel like that man said from Color Purple, the dead has arisen.
You did sound like that. And she was moving like that too.
Oh my God. So I'm gonna pose a question here. It says healing, growth, and emotional intelligence. Now, this is powerful because of all the things we've shared and experienced. Now we definitely want to be able to walk into that place of healing and growth and um, discerning emotional intelligence. That is so important right now to have emotional intelligence
Mhm.
because people are so unaware. They're just so unaware of themselves, of their surroundings. They don't know how to read the room.
Mm-mm.
Read the room.
Yeah.
So, and read yourself. Read yourself. Read yourself.
Be honest with yourself.
It says, how do you know when you're healed enough to date? Not perfect. We're not looking for perfection, but you're ready. What are some things that you can say, now I know I'm ready? Seems like you're ready.
Oh Lord.
Is
Oh,
that? I don't think that's the same kind of ready that he's talking
okay.
about in
That was
that
a
Yeah,
song.
different
I
type of
think
ready
he's
right
talking about a
there.
different
this
kind of
is
ready.
beyond pancakes and
Yeah,
syrup.
yeah. No, you don't want that.
We appreciate that, Angela, but you let that one go, my baby.
My
To
bad.
answer that question, to know how you know when you're ready, when your peace become an action. See, a
Hmm.
lot of people in today's, I believe, they go in this little corner and they say, "I tried to find my peace," and when they find their peace, they sit there in that corner with their peace and they never move. But I feel like when your peace become an action and you are able to walk with it, you're ready to move forward. You'll know what you're looking for, what you want, and you'll know how to put it in words. But if you don't, you'll always be in that corner.
Oh,
Mhm.
oh, come on, preacher.
Come on.
Come
Yeah,
on
that was
now.
good,
Right
G.
now.
That
I
was
will
good.
pay the
I will send you a seed.
34.99.
That
That
was
part.
real good.
That was
That
good.
part.
That was
Great.
good.
Yeah, I like that.
I
Mm.
feel like when you um as much as people don't like to, okay, so being that I'm about to start my BS in psychology and then I'm gonna be switching over to behavioral health on my next contract, I'm like being that people don't like to sit in their trauma and heal from whatever or what person hurt them, and they just kind of like you get into one relationship, this person hurt you. So instead of you dealing with that and sitting in that and saying, okay, these are the things that happened to me, how can I move forward from this? They just move on to the next person. But if you
Mhm.
continue to move on to the next person, you have never fully healed,
Mm-hmm.
because you're gonna bring the same thing, whatever that person did to you. You're gonna feel like the next person is gonna do that same thing. So when people be like, "Oh, I'm alone. I don't have nobody in this world," da da da. You aren't alone. You're just choosing to be that way because somebody hurt you. God didn't put us on this earth to be alone. He put us in pairs. So, in order for you to move forward and to be healed, you may not be completely
Come
healed,
on, Revelator.
but to be healed, you have to sit in the trauma. You have to sit there. You have to ask yourself, like, okay, not what is it that I have done, but what is it do I look for and discern for when I'm dating my next person? And then ask God, I'm not going to say whoever you believe in, ask God to heal you from what the person who has hurt you, heal you from that soul tie, heal you from that hurt, heal you from that pain, heal you from that doubt and that insecurity that that person may have given you, so you can move better in your next relationship, so you're not bringing that same baggage with you. Because if you bring trauma to another relationship, you're just going to add more trauma to it because you're not healing from it and moving forward.
Yeah.
So
And a lot of times you have that you attract that trauma, and then it becomes a trauma bond
Mm-hmm.
rather, rather than a healthy relationship. So absolutely, Don, jump on in there.
Yeah, so I think you definitely, good or bad relationship, need to have some pause time to assess what worked, what didn't work. Did I really know what I want? Because sometimes you don't know what you want. You know what you think you want,
Mm-hmm.
but then when you get it, you don't know how to treat it right. So
mhm.
you have to work on yourself, and that's a full time because the triggers will come back up. Okay, how do you handle that? Your body will tell you the degree of triggers you may have, and you just have to face it. Sometimes you got to face yourself and say, okay, this is what I like, but it doesn't tend to be working like I thought it did.
Mm-hmm.
And then you track out a path. Okay, maybe let me start with this. Let me slow down. What are your close friends that you trust around you saying as well? Because they can see things in you because they've known you longer, right? So all of those things come together, then you'll know, and then
I'm sorry.
Hey, don't
you
do
see,
that, Mom. Don't do that.
you know where she was going. So, and then once you get to that stage where you're like, okay, I think I could probably move in this space. You just take it slow. Don't take it like you got to be the first one to catch up where everybody else is.
You saw me.
Mhm.
Yep. So those are the keys. And to the degree, sometimes you might have to force yourself to do stuff. You might have to force yourself to go to places where you see how it's like, because depending on how long you've been out, the scene ain't what it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So you better know when you go out there.
Yeah.
Yep, Rachel.
Man, that was so good. G and Kieran and turned it up in here. They went and preached the whole sermon.
Right?
But
Come
no,
on,
that was
Reverend.
so
You got it, Rachel. Come
Come
on.
on, bring it home. Come on. Well,
I was thinking of this, and saying, like, kind of to G's point, that you're ready when you make that decision from a place of peace.
Mhm.
exactly.
Like, if you like, okay, I'm feeling like, for women, oh, my clock is running, I need to hurry up and be married, or we set some goal, or I'm going to be married by 30, and so that's your motivation for getting out there and like trying to find somebody, then you're probably not ready, because you rushing
Mhm.
past all these things, like Kira's saying, like taking your time to do the healing work, right? Before you enter into something. So it's like, if you can't make the decision from a place of peace and saying, like, you know what, I'm content where I'm at, I'm good where I'm at, but I do have this desire, so I'm going to go forth and like date,
Yeah.
right? So unless you're making that decision from a place of peace, I don't think that you're ready. But also, you can, to your point about emotional intelligence, um it's not only dating where this is going to be important, right? So this
Exactly.
shows up in family, this
Yes.
shows up at work. So
Yeah.
you're having a disagreement with somebody, there's some tension, like, how are you handling it? Like,
Yeah.
what are your communication skills like?
Yes.
Like,
Do
do
you
you
have
blow
the
up in the moment, or can you take some time to process and approach the situation from a decent place? Like, those are telltale signs.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be at work and you blowing up on people or whatever. You can't, even walk away from arguments with your family members and
Yeah.
then think like, okay, I'm gonna get into start dating and date healthily. No, because it's going to
Mhm,
be
mhm.
friction. There's going to be some tough conversations that need to be had. So look at your other relationships, because they'll give you some cues as to
Absolutely.
whether or not you're really mature enough to be able to enter into something that's going to be healthy.
Yeah, I I definitely agree. You guys made some excellent points, some great points. And same, I definitely agree. It has to come from a place of peace. Just because I just remember after my divorce, the first thing I was like, I don't want to date nobody. I don't never ever want to get married again. Like God, I ain't worried about. Like you ain't got to worry about me. I'm good. I'm good, God. You ain't got to worry about me. And but when I made that, I didn't realize that that was a vow. But that was a vow from hurt, disappointment. That was a vow, and that was something I was speaking over myself. Well, thank God I ended up breaking that vow over my life, and I'm at a place now where if someone was to ask me out, one I would. Well, right now I just initially just freeze. I just get into this weird smile. So I believe my next step would be to say yes. But right now,
Why? Yes. Yes.
You taking baby steps there, ain't you? You like,
exactly.
okay, I'm gonna
Because
go
right
from the
now,
smile and I'm gonna say yes. Okay.
because right now the I'll say two times, and then another time recently, a guy he just stood in front of me. I don't know if it was a missed opportunity or not, but anyway, he just kept saying how beautiful I was. He was like, "You're beautiful. Your hair is beautiful." He was like, "You're such a beautiful person." And I just stood there. And I was like, "Thank you." I was
Sometimes
like,
that's all you can say.
"Yeah," and
Less is more.
I just walked off, and I was like, "Okay, good day."
What you do?
So it was. I was like, Angela, you gotta work on it. You gotta work on it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but I met and it was nice to kind of laugh at myself about it because I'm at peace with it. It was like, okay, Angela, you're a little awkward when people approach you, because it done happened a few times when somebody walked. But he was just like, and he was really kind about it. He was a really handsome guy, a little stout for my size, and he was a little short, but he was still really cute. So, but I recognize now I'm awkward, and I'm not used to that because I used to be. I was never awkward. I was cool, but now at this thing, something has switched. When people give me
No, I feel that. I feel that because I'll be like that too. So sometimes I'm like, okay, engage a little more. Like, I
yeah,
feel like I'll be chatty with everybody else. Somebody that I actually think is attractive, then I
yeah,
start to be like awkward. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing?
exactly.
Like,
So I don't know what happened, but there's a switch. So yeah, I just looked at the guy like a okay. so but yeah, I definitely agree. As we all pretty much came to the same place of when you're knowing that you're ready, it's this place of peace. And going back to G's point, is a lot of times people do get into this place of protecting your peace, one, God will protect your peace. So you don't have to get into this fear mode where you don't, and you become paralyzed and you don't do anything. So now, like I said, now I stand, I receive the compliment, I receive it. And so my next thing is going to be like, yes, okay, I'll go. So, but yeah, I definitely agree with you guys. As we get ready to wind up, I wanted to give each and every one of you guys a moment to share something inspirational that you're going to leave people with. We had a good conversation. We had good fun, a good healthy talk. We will be back because relationships they're here. Like whether you're dating, whether you're married, whether you're single, it is a topic that people are always interested in, and not just so much as interested in, because I'm not just doing content for other people, but it's something I'm also interested in. I'm growing as I'm learning and I'm talking through. So I love this type of content. So we will come back and we'll do some more conversations. But I'll open the floor to you, Rachel. Anything you want to leave the people with, as well as if there's a page or a website you want to for them to connect with you with, please let me know, and I'll make sure to get the information and put it in and link it with the video.
I would just say, actually, just invite God into the process, like every stage of the process. And
Mm-hmm.
it seems like a duh type of thing, but sometimes we get so busy in the doing, we forget to kind of pause and say, okay, wait, Lord, okay, am I still on the right track? Like, did I start to veer off? Like, am I actively, consistently, like, keeping the Holy Spirit involved as far as like, okay, what do I need to do to prepare? Because it's
Mm-hmm.
not all about the other person and all. It's like, okay, what can I be doing?
Yeah.
Okay, Lord, should I date now? Like, is it time for me to date? Should I get online? Or maybe that's not what you have for me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like to just actively, continuously, invite the Lord into the process, and allow Him to lead you to where you need to be.
Yeah. And I like that. And I know that that advice or suggestion that you gave is not in vain, because that is exactly how Rachel operates. That is exactly how she operates when it comes to dating. I don't care if you are the most genteel person in the world, you have all the recommendations. If she hears something in her spirit, it's a no. It's a no. And if God say not online, she's not gonna meet you online. You're very sensitive to that. So
Mm-hmm.
I definitely um, received that, and for anyone else, trust me, it's not just her throwing some words out there. That is exactly her
Mm-hmm.
very own advice that she takes, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Giovanni, what you want to leave with the people, philosopher?
I don't know what you're talking about. I did good today.
You did. You
Number
did.
one, always keep you a Snicker. You're gonna go through a process. You're gonna need something in your stomach. Keep you a Snicker at all times. Number two, always
He always
have
got to
your
say something.
resume. Always have your resume question, and I ain't talking about your TikTok questions. Don't get your dating questions from TikToks and your number one streamer. Like, what makes you different from any other woman? What makes you different from any man? Don't go and ask that Steve Harvey question. 5 years from now, what you want to do? Well, the same thing I'm doing now, trying to get with you. So, only thing I can say is it's a process. However you want your process, just make sure you 100% ready to go through that process. And if that person can't go through that process with you, they're not it. That's right, Bear. Let them know.
Tell them
"Ah!"
again, my baby. Tell them again.
That dog get on my nerves. He don't like to hear nobody talking. Kira, what you got?
I would say definitely, to piggyback off Rachel, definitely ask God, like, okay, is this my time to date? And if you are actively dating, is this the person for me? Because one thing I always pray, and He always show me, something happens where this person is not for you, and I'd be like, you know what? Okay, so never, and I'm not gonna say never get too hung up on a person, but if that's not the person for you, God's gonna make sure
Mm-hmm.
that y'all don't be together. He's gonna show you things. He's gonna show you how this person interacts with other people, with you, their emotions, all those type of things. Trust me, He has showed me many times since I've been in this godforsaken army. Um. So just really keep God first as your main foundation in everything that you do, not just your relationship with somebody, with a romantic relationship, but with your friendships, with your family, with your job, because He's gonna let you know if all those things are for you. And if you are dating and you want to make sure the other person is also dating with intention, not just because they want a sneaky link or a situationship, because you just wasting time. And fun fact, after the age of 35, you are most likely to have twins. Remember that.
Don't get in my business, Kira. Don't get in my business, okay? Because I'm already 35. But you know what? I want twins. So, Lord, I receive it. You know what I'm saying? I'll take it. I'll take it.
I
Bear.
want everybody to realize this is why I say you should always have Snickers. See that?
Y'all are crazy.
That's funny.
Don, what you got?
So one of the things I started praying was when something comes up is God expose, reveal, and remove. But in order for that to happen, you have to really know yourself and examine yourself and pick up on what the other person is dropping.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'll say. Always be true to the God factor that's in you, because God will expose, reveal, and remove it.
Mm-hmm.
Done it
Mm-hmm.
so many times.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And as you can see, we're all pretty much on the same page when it comes to keeping God in the center, keeping God in the forefront of all of this. Because without Him, trust me, I've tried it, and it was a hot mess, and it was a hot mess. I can tell you a time when God told me not to date a particular person, but that person showed up. I mean, they showed up, and I was like, surely I must have read this wrong. Surely that dream was not telling me, maybe I ate bad, because God gave it to me so clearly in a dream.
Wow.
And I must have just eaten something wrong. And everything that God showed me in that dream is exactly, He showed me how it was going to end and how I was going to be devastated when this thing ended. Everything that He showed me in that dream, I found myself maybe 3 or 4 months later, balled up on the couch, because it was all right there. He told me before I even
Oh my
started,
gosh.
do not date this person.
You turned into the
And no, he was still, yeah, I turned into a timid. So, but he made it very clear, and so you all definitely hit it where cross generations, that has never changed. Whether you guys are young or whether with this information hit somebody that's older like us, put God first. Allow Him to be in your dating business. Allow Him to be in your relationship business. Allow Him to be in your marriage business. No matter what status or stage you're in relationship, put Him first. Seek His guidance, because Lord knows if I had listened to God, I wouldn't have been on that. I love Him. I love Him. I gave Him the best for my life.
And but you know what else? You know what else is in that too? Not only it's like, okay, you crying and you in your feels or whatever because it didn't work out, but now you gotta go and heal. So
Yeah,
it's like you date somebody for 4 months, now you need a whole year of therapy.
a whole
to
year.
unpack this stuff.
I gave you 4 months. Now it's gonna take me a whole year.
got you bankrupt.
Listen, that's the thing.
And-
That's the thing that really get me. I said,
Yes.
you know what? I ain't got time to play. And that's maybe another thing I leave with the people is to put in boundaries and hold
Mhm.
them. Because
Yes.
when you don't date with boundaries,
Date with
then you
boundaries.
have to go and heal all this stuff because you were
Yes.
out of line in
And
the
they
first
done
place.
moved on. They done moved on. They ain't trying to heal nothing. They don't even think they need anything to be healed. You broken up for 4, 5, 6 months to a year,
Mm-hmm.
and now you got to celebrate your anniversary. 1 year. You back in 1 year again. No.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
but this has been an awesome time, you guys. I appreciate y'all so much. Of course, I'll be calling on y'all again for the Purpose Place, as we have some other amazing topics that we're going to kind of touch on. But I'm loving the relationship topic. So this will air February 13th. And so tell your friends, check it out. It's going to be on YouTube and Facebook. It'll premiere live on those 2 pages, Facebook and YouTube. It'll appear live, and I'll send you a link and you can send it to them, so that way they don't have to go and search around for it and all of that. But thank y'all so much for your patience and jumping on board with us. Love y'all. Bye.
Love ya. Bye.
Peace.